Hey everyone, it's Ryan.
And this is Kyle.
And you're listening to
The Doctor's Watcher, the only Doctor Who podcast where I tell you about every episode of Doctor Who.
Indeed. And what a sad fact that is, that we are the only one, but someone's got to pioneer it.
Yeah, I figured all these Doctor Who fans out there need something to listen to, so...
Right. Yeah, so how was your 2 weeks since we last podcasted?
It's been all right. It has kind of felt like I haven't really done much of anything, but that's, I'm sure, not actually the case. Yeah, I was just telling you a minute ago about how my partner and I went to a basketball game last night because we have season tickets to the Golden State Valkyries this year, like we also did last year.
Yep, I remember that.
So that was pretty fun. It was against the Minnesota Lynx, who I believe won the championship last year. I don't remember for sure. They might not have, but they're like one of the top teams. And, this is the Valkyries' second season, and there are, I think, 15 teams in the league, and the Lynx that's Lynx. The Lynx are the only team that the Valkyries has not beaten.
Okay.
And that continued last night. So,
oh, dang.
It was a good game though. It was, they had a good lead for a while, and then it was kind of back and forth a bit at the end, but they just couldn't quite pull it off. So,
damn. That sounds fun though.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Cool. Now the league itself is pretty young, right?
Yeah, I think it's, compared to like the NBA and whatnot, I think it's, much younger. I don't know for sure when it started, but I want to say like maybe in the 90s or possibly in the 80s.
Okay.
Hey folks, quick editor's note here. The WNBA as a league was founded in 1996, so this year is actually their 30th anniversary. So that's pretty fun. Back to the show.
But, the men's league is way, way earlier than that.
Sure. And then, yeah, the Valkyries were just formed like last year.
Yeah. Yeah, then this year... Portland got a team, and
oh, cool.
I think another place did. I don't remember for sure.
Toronto.
But yeah, I guess the league, had this whole plan for like, 5 or 6 new teams over the course of a few years, like starting with the Valkyries last year.
Nice. So kind of doing some like expanding, getting some new talent and new blood in there. Cool. That's pretty sweet.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. We are enjoying supporting the Valkyries. We have kind of gotten the idea in our heads that it would be fun to sit courtside again sometime. So we keep kind of like checking Ticketmaster just to see. And, it's always like $700 or $1,000 or like $1,800, depending on like where exactly courtside you are.
Wow.
So
that's so much money.
Don't know if we'll ever actually pay to do that or not, but it does seem like it would be cool and fun. The one time that we got like upgraded to courtside was a lot of fun. So we just kind of keep thinking about it would be neat to do that again.
Yeah. Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, like have you ever flown like first class or like upgraded class in an airplane?
I did fly first class once, but it was on like I don't know, probably a 1.5 or 2 hour flight. So it almost, I mean, it totally was cool and fun, but it would have been even better if it was a longer flight, I think.
Yeah, so it sounds similar to that, where like if you have a taste of the first class flight, like I have to, but I don't ever want to not fly first class anymore. Like it sucks, and first class does not suck. You're comfortable and it's nice and whatever.
Yeah, so if you can get in, like if you're not in first class, you can get in like the exit row or something, and that's slightly better sometimes, but still basically sucks.
Yeah, right. Because then, sometimes you can't like stash your backpack or whatever at the seat. You have to put it up above you, and that's just annoying. Well, cool. Yeah. So I hope that you guys look into courtside seats again. I mean, it certainly doesn't cost them $1,800 to offer a chair there. But it sounds like they can get people to pay that much. So
yeah. Well, and the interesting thing is, like a week or two ago, one of my coworkers was posting on the company Slack that she had a couple courtside tickets that she was trying to sell for like, I think maybe 200 each.
That's much more reasonable.
Yeah, I have not seen those prices on Ticketmaster other than the two that she was trying to sell, which were also listed on Ticketmaster. But I don't know if that's, a feature of like what team they're playing against, or like what day of the week the game is, or, that sort of thing.
Interesting.
Like, yesterday was a Friday night against one of the best teams in the league. So
right.
I wouldn't be surprised if they were more expensive than they would be for other games.
Yeah, good point. Plus, yesterday would be like a good day for it, considering, it was Juneteenth and a lot of people had the day off. And
like they had like a whole Juneteenth celebration with, like a black choir singing outside the stadium. And
oh, cool.
We got like free tote bags with this cool painting on them and stuff like that.
Nice. That's very fun.
So what have you been up to?
Kind of similar. Like it feels like I didn't do that much, but I've been doing stuff the whole time. I guess I'll tell like the story of my yesterday, which was also kind of fun. So like Juneteenth is a pretty fucking big deal in Atlanta, as you may imagine.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
And there were all sorts of like parades and parties and liberal ass protests that will probably do nothing. But we weren't downtown for that. We had I had a nice day off. My partner actually still had to work. But then, yesterday evening, we went to some music. There were a couple DJs playing. One guy that I wasn't really familiar with is called Black Carl. But he's actually pretty good. He did some good stuff. It's pretty funny. If you search Black Carl on YouTube, there is apparently a band of white girls called Black Carl. I was like, what the fuck is this? And you kind of have to keep digging, and you can find Black Carl, who is a black guy, presumably named Carl. but yeah, you have to strangely dig through like a bunch of videos of white girls before you get there.
Interesting.
Yeah, right. So he was pretty good. But the headliner is called Maddie O'Neill, and we'd seen her before, and we knew she was good, and she plays, some nice, like pretty bassy but rather upbeat dance music. Not like fast or anything, but well paced. I think it was a good time. But my partner and I had met some people on and this is so sketch, like this, usually you shouldn't do this, but like we met some people on Reddit who were like, we don't know anyone who likes so they said, we don't know anyone who likes electronic music, and I just want to meet, people to go see shows with and stuff. And I was like, that's us too. So we decided to meet them. They were all very interesting people. Ended up meeting, I think, like 6 or 7 different people who had responded to that, that post.
That's cool.
Yeah, they were actually really nice. Like there were no crackheads that I know of. Mm-hmm. One cool thing was like we met at this place beforehand. Okay, so this is where we hook into the Juneteenth is a big deal for Atlanta thing. So we decide to meet at this place beforehand, this little kind of like outdoor bar area where they've got like a stage, and it's, this little kind of compound, I guess, type thing. Mm-hmm. There's like different bars, and like there's some food in there, and there's like a stage. And they were like, yeah, let's have the group meet there since no one knows anyone else, and we'll just chat a little bit and go to the show. It's an EDM show, so of course we're expecting it to like start at like 11 or 11:30 or some shit. So like we meet at this place, which I forgot what it was called, whatever, this kind of restaurant bar venue place beforehand. And it's like empty, but there's like piles of garbage everywhere. Well, not like piles everywhere, but there's like garbage kind of as if it wasn't empty. And like the place smells like pot smoke, and there's like, like spilled drinks and like, food remnants and crap. Like a crowd had like just left, and apparently like a crowd had just left. Like they'd had some big ass party or whatever, like there that had ended like 20 or 30 minutes before we showed up.
Nice.
And it was just like empty, and like cleaning people were like sweeping and picking up garbage and whatever. But the thing that I was like, okay, this is going to be good was like, at that point there were probably 5-ish of us, including me and my partner. Well, no, I think we had like 7 then, and then maybe by the time all the people showed up, there was like 9 or 10 almost people. But anyway, we were at that place, and they went to order drinks, and me and my partner were just getting, mocktails, of course. They had this like lavender drink thing that was good.
Nice.
But we get to the bar, and like everyone orders, and I didn't really hear what they ordered. And the bartender brings all the drinks out. It was kind of cute. She was a black girl, and she was like, there were a couple people in the group that were black too. And she was like, you know what, this is our holiday, so you two get, I'm taking your drinks first. I was like, oh, that's fun. But all the drinks showed up, and no one had ordered any alcohol. I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. Hell yeah. Cool. I mean, I don't care if, people do, but it's just fun when like they're not, like I'm not.
Yeah, totally. Especially like in a relatively large group of like people you haven't really met before.
Right. Total mix of people, at a bar. We went to multiple bars and no one got alcohol. But yeah, so like we hung out there and like chatted and stuff, and people were nice. And then we went to the actual bar where the show was happening, and we actually had to run over there because, we met at this place at 9:30 and like got our little mocktails and whatever. And then someone else in the chat was like, you have to go early to that venue because they close down at midnight. We were like, what the fuck? That's not standard for electronic music. So we like booked it over there, and Black Carl was like almost done with his set.
Oh, dang.
By the time he got there. But, he played a few bangers, and then we saw the other one, Maddie O'Neill, and she was awesome. And she actually went until, I'm pretty sure she like slightly broke the rules because she went until like 12:20ish. And I was thinking like, oh, okay, maybe it's actually 12:30 that they closed down. But before 12:30, she was just like, okay, they're making me stop.
Nice.
Yeah, which is still feels weird to be like done with, a DJ type outing at 12:30. Like that's not how that goes.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's still kind of early, and like all the, Atlanta locals and natives and stuff were like, okay, we'll find something else to go to next. And of course, there's always like a shit ton of options. It's fucking Atlanta weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But like no one could decide on anything. this one guy's like, there's this kava bar I go to, and sometimes like after a rave, when I'm driving home, and I just don't want to go home yet, like I will stop in their parking lot in the middle of the night and just bump my music and like hang out there for a while. It's like, really? So we went to the parking lot of this kava bar place that apparently is pretty cool. I've never been there when it's open because it was in the middle of the night. But yeah, like it's kind of like surrounded by these businesses and kind of like some mechanic places and stuff. Like it's in this little weird business square thing. Like no one was there but us. And like this dude had a really cool like sound system in his car. So we just like chilled there for a while and just like hung out and,
Nice.
And then the weirdest, I was telling my partner, like, this is the real Atlanta shit, we're hanging out with locals, the people that know, the ins and outs, and like they know where to go after the end of the party to find the next party and whatever. Like, This is cool. We're getting like the local experience finally. And it really, really sealed the deal for that, because when we were hanging out in this kava bar and it's like 3:30 a.m., we hung out there for a while. This car kind of like rolls up and it's these ladies asking us if we knew where some other after party was that was completely unrelated to the ones like we were talking about. We were like, no, not really. And then they like parked their car and like got out, and it's these two girls, these two Atlanta black girls, and like they had just been at some like hip hop event. Like one was talking about how like she was twerking better than anyone else there. And, like, they were just like, I don't know. I was doing a pretty good imitation. I don't know if I can now. She was like, oh yeah. She was like, we was just in Decatur. We came from a spot called The Spot. It was bumping. Do y'all want some shots? And just like, no one did, but she had like this bottle of booze just like under her arm. And yeah, like these random, party peeps like came by and like they hung out for like half an hour and
nice.
Just like talked to everyone. And eventually he was like, all right, we're going to leave. See ya. Like, all right, bye. That was cool. Just totally random. I think they bought some weed from this guy that was like in our group. It's like, oh, okay, that works out. So nice. Yeah, weirdness, but it was fun.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah. So I have a joke to ease us into the next section of the podcast.
Nice.
Yeah. So the other day I was in a hot air balloon with my friend, and we started having an argument, and unfortunately it got so bad we had a falling out.
Shit. Hope it wasn't too high up.
Yeah, right. The stakes were very high. But that was just our lunch.
Nice. Well, on that note, let's find out where the TARDIS fell out to.
Indeed.
So this is the 5th episode of season 5 and the first episode of a new serial. And I thought we should decide and set a general precedent of whether we should give new serial titles up top, which is what the actual Doctor Who show does, or if we should save them until an appropriate reveal moment generally, or what, or flip a coin each time. I don't know.
Well, yeah, good question. So back in, what is this, 1962-ish or something?
I think we're in, 66 or 7 now, maybe even 7 or 8, but.
So I'm just picturing, gathering the family in the living room and turning on a gigantic black and white television. And
by gigantic, you mean the item itself, not the screen on it.
Right. The screen is not gigantic, but the television itself, might weigh 200 pounds and it's the size of a side table.
Right.
Yeah. And there is no remote. Usually, I think that didn't come till later.
Yeah,
the children were the remote. But so when they get to the episode and they're all settled in, does it say the title of the series before it starts, or at what point are they going to encounter the title?
Yeah, so basically every episode is going to start with the theme song and the kaleidoscope opening sequence with Patrick Troughton's face and stuff. And then the title comes pretty much just right after that on the screen. It'll say, The Planet of Shit, episode 1.
Right. Or Jamie stubs his toe mysteriously or whatever.
Right.
Okay. So even last serial, if we were watching real time, we would have known it was the Tomb of the Cybermen before they even got to a tomb or saw any Cybermen. That's less fun. That seems less fun.
That's kind of what I thought too. That's part of why I liked when they titled individual episodes.
Yeah.
Rather than serials.
Well, we don't have to lockstep with that. We can wait till a dramatic moment to reveal the name of the serial.
Nice. We will do that then. This serial was written by Mervyn Haseman and Henry Lincoln. It is the first time we've heard of either of them, but they did 2 more serials in addition to this. There's one later in season 5, and they did one in season 6 as well.
Cool.
And it's directed by Gerald Blake, and it's the first time he's directed for Doctor Who. He only ever did 2 Doctor Who serials. He did this one, and he did one in season 15.
Okay.
And with that, would you remind us whether or what Cliff Dingler we had?
Yeah. So it wasn't really much of a Cliff Dangler. There kind of was one because they had, pretty much taken care of the Cybermen and put them back into their tomb. Mm-hmm. And then Jamie was all well, that's the end of the Cyberman, right, Doc? Right, Doc?
Uh-huh.
And the doctor was yeah, no, maybe, could be.
Yeah, we'll see.
Right. Uh-huh. I don't make predictions, which is the fuck you don't.
Uh-huh.
But then they left, and I think the main kind of nothing burger Cliff Dangler was there was still a Cybermat crawling around back there.
Yeah,
that
one
didn't
of those
get eradicated.
fucking cyber slugs is still awake.
Right. But, he's little. Maybe there's not that much he can do. And if there is, it's going to take a while. So
he's going to run out of batteries at some point.
Yeah, right. And I don't recall there being a whole lot of, non-frozen people or entities in that region. So he's probably going to be pretty lonely. But I think that was pretty much it, right? Like the doctor had a little chat with Victoria, like, you doing all right? And she was like, yeah, kind of sad, but doing good. And that was that.
Yeah, like we never saw where the TARDIS went or, any hint of what this next serial might be or anything.
Yeah.
Which, of course, means that it doesn't necessarily take place like immediately after. So it makes it a good fanfic insertion point.
Excellent.
For all the Jamie Victoria fanfic writers.
Nice. Vicky seems too easy. Are we going with Jatoria?
Yeah, I like that. Jatoria.
Yeah. Or James V. I don't know. Yeah, Jatoria. I think that's the only one that kind of sounds reasonable.
Yeah. There is only one episode of this serial that still exists, but the serial has been fully animated and it's on that BBC YouTube channel. So cool. That is mostly what I'm watching, but I did watch the actual episode when we get to it. That's not this one, but
nice.
This episode starts out at a campsite that is like high up in the mountains. It's pretty windy and snowy. Kind of reminded me of that Cairn game I was telling you about a while ago.
Yeah.
And there's this British dude at the campsite who hears some screaming from his adventure partner who's off screen. So he gets his rifle and starts looking around, and as he looks around, after a few moments, he trips over a big rock and like falls off screen himself. And then a few moments later, we see his rifle get tossed from off screen into the campfire, and it's bent in half.
Oh, yikes.
Elsewhere in the mountains, the TARDIS arrives, and the Doctor recognizes the mountains. They can like see on the scanner screen, a nice horizon and whatever. And he recognizes it as the Himalayas.
The Him of what? Shush.
The Himalayas, Jamie. They're mountains.
I can see that.
Huh. Yeah, I guess he wouldn't have known, huh?
Uh-huh. But yeah, Victoria's got that knowledge.
Right. By that time, they'd been there. Nice.
Jamie asks where they are, and she tells him that they're in India, but the Doctor corrects her.
Oh, no. No, not India. This is Tibet. That's where we are, Tibet. Now, there's no time to be lost. Come along, Jamie. We must find the Ganta.
Seems like he's already gone through this adventure, Himalayan adventure before.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, he's really excited about something. He seems pretty stoked that they're here, and he does not take any time to explain to Jamie and Victoria what the Ganta is. He just starts digging through a storage chest on the TARDIS.
I was picturing some kind of Star Warsian, floppy haired, like a Banta, I guess.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah.
This storage chest is clearly TARDIS technology in the TARDIS, because he, pulls out stuff that shouldn't fit and, too much stuff to be in it and that sort of thing.
Nice.
And he pulls out this big electronic device that looks like some kind of control panel, or maybe a sound mixing board or something like that.
Good Lord. I haven't seen that for years. Oh, that's the Ganta then. No. It's, Whatever it is, it's nice to see it again.
Sweet.
Jamie finds some bagpipes in the chest.
Hey, Doctor, would you look at these? You never told me you had these.
No, Jamie.
Hey, I could fix those easily.
Yes, I was afraid of that.
And, eventually he tells them that the Ganta is a small Tibetan bell that will guarantee them the welcome of a lifetime. And they're both like, confused face, question mark appears over their heads. But the doctor just finds this nice big fur coat in the chest and puts it on. And he tells them to find the bell and get some warm clothes for themselves. And then he leaves. They, pretty quickly after he leaves, they find a drawstring bag in the chest that has a label on it that says Ganta of Detsen Monastery. And so they figure that's probably where the doctor went. And meanwhile, we cut to the doctor, who has gone to a cliff edge overlooking a building below, which, presumably is the monastery. And so he just kind of looks at it for a minute and then turns around to head back to the TARDIS. And on his way back, he finds a large footprint in the snow, and we, the viewers, get to see that something unknown is watching him.
Do we take the perspective of the unknown thing?
Basically, yeah.
Nice. I like that cinematic device.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you are now the predator.
Back in the TARDIS, Victoria has gotten some warmer clothing, and she's trying to tell Jamie that he should too, but he says he's a Highlander and the cold doesn't affect him.
Oh, okay. Tough
She's
boy
just
over
like,
here.
dude, fucking Himalayas are going to be a lot colder than Highland Scotland.
Right. You dumbass.
The doctor gets back to the TARDIS. It seems like he's really distracted, and Victoria has to mention a few times to him that they've found the bell. And even still, he almost leaves the TARDIS without the bell until she kind of, gets in his way and gives it to him, basically. And so he tells the two of them to wait here in the TARDIS, and he'll be back as quick as he can. And then he heads out again. And as he walks away from the TARDIS, this unknown creature watches him some more. And this time the camera of the animation is kind of behind and to the side a little bit. So we get to see that this unknown creature is large and round and covered in fur. That's about all we can tell for now.
Interesting. So when you picture a Ganta, you're actually picturing this guy.
Victoria in the TARDIS gets bored, and she wants to go check things out outside and has to convince Jamie to come with her. He, of course, doesn't think that they should, because the doctor said to stay here in the TARDIS, but he also doesn't want to be left alone, so he agrees to go with her for just a quick look. And she goes outside, starts admiring the view, and he basically just stands in the doorway of the TARDIS and tries to convince her to come back in. And after a couple of moments, it comes out that he actually is too cold, but he doesn't want to leave her alone outside while he goes back in to grab a coat.
Man, so your toxic masculinity has screwed you out of doing the other toxic masculinity thing. Nice job, buddy.
She sees some big footprints, and she wants to figure out, if it was a bear or what. Jamie's like,
You must be careful. This could be dangerous. Wait while I get that sword.
they'd found a sword in the storage chest earlier.
Nice.
And so he does head back into the TARDIS, leaving her alone outside. And we cut to the Doctor, who has found the campsite from the first scene of the episode. He finds the bent rifle in the campfire ashes, and he finds a dead dude in the rocks. So he basically takes a backpack from the campsite and heads down to the monastery with it. He knocks on the monastery door a few times, but there's no answer. So he just like pushes it open and heads into the courtyard. And it seems completely deserted. There's nobody in the courtyard. You know, he's calling out like, hello, hello, and whatever. Nobody's answering. So, you know, he kind of approaches the big Buddha statue at the end of the courtyard. And as he is looking at the Buddha, he hears rustling and creaking. He turns around and there's a group of Tibetan warrior monks behind him, as well as the British guy from the first scene who's got a bandage on his head now.
Nice. Well, that's convenient.
The monks want to know why he's here, but before he can really say much, the British guy clocks that the Doctor has his backpack, and he basically starts accusing the Doctor of attacking him and killing his adventure partner. Which, of course, the Doctor denies, because he didn't do that. And the monks sees him and like start to take him away. It kind of seems like the monk in charge of this little group doesn't fully believe that the Doctor did the attacks and is like maybe taking him away more for investigation purposes than accusation purposes. But he does still get taken away and like locked in a cell at the monastery, basically.
Are you struggling with the stresses of modern life? Here is an easy solution for all of your problems. First, relax. Then, open up your browser or your podcast listening device. Navigate to the Doctor's Watcher and begin leaving 5-star ratings. You will soon feel the stress begin to melt away. Once you begin sharing the podcast with friends and family, you will feel enveloped in a warm, calm, peaceful feeling. Relax.
Jamie and Victoria are back together. Apparently he got a coat and the sword from the TARDIS, and nothing happened to her while he left her alone outside.
Oh, thank goodness. 'Cause you never know what, I don't know, women could get up to, or I can't even imitate it because it's just so stupid.
There is some good news, though, because they have found a cave entrance. Caves. They presume that probably this cave is where the creature that left the footprints lives. And they are arguing about whether they should like actually go in the cave and check it out or not. Jamie thinks that they should go back to the TARDIS because it could be dangerous. But Victoria thinks that they should check out the cave because it could be totally safe.
She's new.
The argument continues until Jamie notices some wooden beams inside the cave like support beams, basically, which clearly indicates human construction. And so he starts heading into the cave to take a closer look.
Oh, but Jamie...
Look, a wild animal's one thing. I'm not afraid of a man.
But they've kind of like switched now. Jamie now wants to check out the cave and Victoria wants to head back.
Victoria's like, wait, if I encounter a bear out there in the wilderness, but I'm with a dude, then which one do I choose?
I think I've heard this before, but this other podcast I was listening to recently was talking about how, like, a man, generally speaking, men's greatest fears are like shame, around like feeling shame. Women's greatest fears are being attacked by a man.
Yeah. Wow. That's a fucked up state of affairs. And, also, on a lighter note, shame does suck, but suck it the fuck up. Goddamn.
Yeah, for real.
I don't want to feel shame either. Like, if you don't do shameful things, come on, it ain't that hard.
So yeah, like it totally makes sense that now that they suspect it might be a human cave rather than a wild animal cave, Victoria doesn't want to check it out anymore.
Smart.
But she reluctantly follows after Jamie. She's like trying to get him to come back out. But then a large boulder gets rolled in front of the cave entrance and traps them in.
Uh-oh. That's what happened to Jesus. He was like in there for 3 days.
The doctor is rolling investigation checks on his cell at the monastery, but there's really not much to investigate. He has like pulled his stool over underneath the window so he can climb up on the stool and look out the window. But, it's pretty well barred off. He's not going to be able to actually get out the window. And as he looks out, the British dude shows up at the door of his cell and starts telling him that it's like 100-foot drop out the window and like there is no way out. The doctor's like, yeah, that's what I figured. And this British dude thinks the doctor's like a journalist or reporter or whatever, and asks the doctor how he tracked him down. And the doctor's just like, dude, I don't even know like who the fuck you are. And this unlocks the dude's backstory dialogue node. And we learn that he is, according to the British press, Travers the mad anthropologist.
Okay. Sounds cool.
He apparently basically got made fun of in the newspapers for the thing that he's interested in researching. And then his own society stopped financing him, but he knows that they're here and he spent 20 years searching for them somewhere on these mountains. And the doctor's like, dude, what the fuck are you even talking about? And Travers is like,
You know, the Yeti, the abominable snowmen.
And fireworks and confetti go off because that's the title of the serial.
Oh, cool. Okay. Good job, Travers. See, he knows how to do it. Interesting. Okay, so wait, when we saw the beast, like glimpsed it earlier, like is it like a ape looking thing? Brown fur, white fur?
What we glimpsed was brown fur. We only saw like kind of the edge of it, so it's hard to say whether it was really ape looking, but what we saw did not strike me as being particularly ape-like.
Okay. Like as opposed to what? Like what was it more so?
It was kind of like a sort of a curve, like, and we saw just kind of like the edge of the creature, but it was kind of like an ellipse edge.
So you can't really tell. You can't tell anything.
It was like pretty ovoid.
Okay. Some sort of ovoid type creature. Okay. So flashback to Travers, who's enjoying his little 15 seconds of fame moment. Now that he's said this, I don't know. I've got a feeling either he's going to be the bad guy or he's going to die soon.
Yeah, those both seem like pretty plausible possibilities. Back in the cave, Jamie is investigating a bit deeper. He's leaving Victoria in the entry area. He figures, like, with the boulder rolled in front of the entrance, she's probably actually relatively safe there. And, there's some worry that, like, deeper in the cave could be more dangerous, whether it's people or beasties or whatever. In the doctor's cell, which we cut back to, he suggests to Travers that maybe Travers and his adventure partner were attacked by the Yeti. Of course, Travers still thinks the doctor attacked him, but Travers really doesn't think it was the Yeti. He says that they are timid and shy. So they wouldn't even approach, let alone attack. The doctor asks Travers why he thinks he did it, and Travers is like,
You want a clear field, don't you? I discovered the Yeti. The honor's mine, but you want to take it from me. Why, you even murdered my companion just to get a cheap story for your newspaper.
That is ridiculous.
Is it?
And the doctor's just like, dude, that's fucking bullshit. And he points out that whoever or whatever killed the adventure party must have been really strong, which Travers agrees with. And the doctor's like, look at my character sheet. Do you really think I could have done it?
Nice.
And Travers is just like, I'm done talking now. The monks will figure out the truth. And he leaves.
Okay.
The warrior monk, who seems to be in charge of the investigation, is named Croissant. And he and his assistant and a few other monks are all discussing the situation. The only evidence they have that the doctor attacked Travers is that Travers said so. Which, some of the monks are like, yeah, that's evidence. Cool. Others are like, dude, we don't know if Travers is telling the truth, but they also don't know of any good reason why he might be lying. So Croissant's like, dude, I don't actually give that much of a shit about Travers' dead adventure buddy. I'm more concerned about the 4 dead monks, which we, the viewers, have not heard of before, but
right. But now that we know
dead
that,
monks.
Yeah, and that probably tells us a lot more about the situation, because Travers' dead body, sounds like another, probably foreigner type dude, just poking around the mountains. And these guys are, from there, and they're warrior monks, so they're obviously pretty tough.
Yeah, totally. The other monks remind Croissant that they had decided that the Yetis probably killed those 4 monks. And Croissant's like, yeah, I do remember that, but we all know that the Yeti are timid and shy. Remember how we did think it was super weird and shit that the Yeti did that? And, we don't know why they did it or anything. And he thinks that, maybe somehow this dude that Travers is accusing, aka the doctor, has something to do with it.
Uh-oh.
The other monks are like, dude, you want us to basically put him to death, and we need to like at least ask the abbot in charge of the monastery before we do that. But then the meditation bell rings, and all the other monks are like, well, guess we'll go meditate now, and we'll talk to the abbot about it after meditation time's over. Peace.
Right. Super convenient that they're using, Christian English terms.
So they all leave, except for Croissant and his assistant monk. And Croissant's like, dude, this fucking sucks. Like, more people are going to get killed before I'm allowed to do anything to stop it. So he decides to skip meditation, and he tells the assistant dude to bring him the prisoner. We cut back to the cave where Jamie has found a deeper chamber in the cave, and in the middle of this chamber there's a platform or whatever with a bunch of silver spheres arranged on it in a pyramid. They are, probably about like 6 inches in diameter per sphere. And, there's like a 5x5 layer on the bottom, and then a 4x4 layer stacked on top of that, and, all stacked up into a big pyramid of spheres.
Mm-hmm.
As he sees it, he hears Victoria scream that the creature's coming back. So he rushes back out to the entry area of the cave and tells her to head back into the deeper chamber. And sure enough, the big furry creature that we got a little glimpse of earlier has rolled the boulder away and is entering the cave. And now we get like a good look at it. And you know how like people describe body shapes, and like one of the common body shapes or body types is pear-shaped?
Yeah.
This creature is like the ultimate in pear-shapedness. It's almost like even egg-shaped. It kind of reminded me of like Grimace from McDonald's, but like
okay.
Maybe even rounder.
Nice.
And it's probably like 7 or 8 feet tall. It's this big egg with arms and legs and like paws and claws at the end.
Cool.
And it's covered in light brown fur, except for its face area. There are no visible facial features. It doesn't have like eyes or nose or mouth or ears or anything. All it has is where its face would be, and like kind of coming down from its face area in like sort of a big beard shape is just a bunch of dark brown fur instead of the light brown fur it has everywhere else.
Huh. Interesting. Sounds like a little bit easier on the props department to just like throw in a longer fur of a different color instead of like making a face for it. Probably a good choice, because like a face might look a little goofy.
Yeah, that's probably true. Jamie like menaces his sword at it as it, enters the cave, and it basically just like knocks the sword out of his hand. The sword breaks in half as it like clatters against the rock walls and stuff.
What a shitty sword.
And the creature just like lumbers past Jamie into the cave. We hear Victoria scream some more, and music plays and the credits roll.
Nice. Well, that's exciting. I mean, we've got our typical mad English explorer. This is almost like a Himalayan Dr. Livingstone type dude.
Yeah, totally.
I'd like to know more about his dead companion. That'd be interesting. Yeah. And then we have our cool monks, which maybe next episode we should go a little deeper into like what these cool dudes look like, because obviously they're meant to be, I assume like a kung fu monk analog type of dude, but they have abbots and Christian monasteries or whatever.
Yeah, and they've got some kind of interesting costumes or outfits or whatever that I haven't really gotten into yet.
Cool. So yeah, this is fun. Like I like the weirdly shaped. Like I'm having to adjust my sort of perceptions because, like as soon as we heard Trevor's description of like what he's there for, I started picturing the ski-free Abominable Snowman for Windows 3.1. But now, now in my mind, it almost looks like the ski-free guy, but like instead of his having a body, he just sort of has like a weird egg shape.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Cool. Nice. Well, yeah, I would not have expected like a Yeti. But it's Doctor Who. You never know what you're going to expect. Mm-hmm. But that's pretty cool. Like, I'm excited to find the monk's relationship with the Yeti. I'm assuming there's more to it than, we know about now.
Right.
Like, are they like the ancient protectors of this fearful evil, or are they just kind of, they've been there for a long time, or what?
Right. Like they live here and the Yeti also lives here and they're just chill with each other.
Right.
Or
they, probably have some texts on how to fight him or something way back in the bottom of the scroll pile or whatever.
Right. But they never need to dig him out and read him because the Yeti are timid and shy.
Right. So I guess that's probably the central mystery. Like, why are they so mad? Are they hungry or is it Ponfar or like what's happening?
Maybe these are like the precursors to Magatos.
Right. Yeah. I had a water container, water jug thing made by, Yeti. So I assume it was these guys. And it was actually a really nice water container, but I left it like on the side of a truck once and we drove away and it was gone.
I am at this very moment speaking into a microphone made by a Yeti.
Oh yeah, that's right. Interesting. I wonder if that's the same, like the, water drink container.
I have no idea.
Company. Huh. Maybe they're like Yamaha where they kind of just do whatever the fuck they want. Make a car? Sure. Make a synthesizer? Sure. Make a washing machine? You got it. Well, cool. This was a good start to this new series. This one's going to be fun.
Yeah, totally.
Is there anything like further we need to get into on this episode?
I think the only other thing I wanted to mention was that you had said a minute ago that you didn't expect a Yeti, and I just thought I would point out that if we had said the serial title at the start, like the actual episode did, then you would have expected a Yeti.
Ah, right. That's true. Well, I guess that decides the method then. It gets revealed as the writers wish for it to be revealed.
Nice.
Man, that would be really annoying as a writer. Quick side note, like you're like, okay, cool guys. Like I've got this cool mystery, like episode 1 on this serial is going to be great. Revealing piece by piece what we're getting into. And, the BBC people are like, cool. Yeah, we're calling it Haunted Grandma or, whatever, like right up front. Yeah.
And I feel like it was, pretty much every Dalek serial we've had has had the word Dalek in the serial title. And like, it feels like almost all of them they save it for like the end of episode 1 cliff dangler is like, and there are Daleks. And you're like, yeah, I know, like you told me in the title at the start.
Right. The cliff dangler is, we didn't lie. The only surprise was how long it took us to show you.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, enough rants, I suppose, for one episode.
Nice.
But other than our listener thanking rant, which goes as follows. Thank you, listeners, for listening and rating and sharing. All
Indeed.
at the highest of quality stars and the highest of quality shares.
Indeed. It is like they say, the best way for a podcast to get listeners is through word of mouth. I thought I was going to like make a joke with that, but I couldn't think of anything in time.
Well, the whole joke is the only way to do a podcast is word of mouth, I guess. So, yeah.
That works.
Yeah. Well, cool. Thanks for describing that episode to me, Kyle.
Indeed, and thanks for listening to it.
My pleasure. And we'll resume again in 2 weeks to find out what these very abominable, very snowy men will get up to.
Indeed, and if our listeners are also interested in men who are snowy and abominable, they should also return in 2 weeks.
That's right. And in the meantime, I'm sure there's a subreddit for men who are both snowy and abominable.
Yeah, that seems likely. There are subreddits for everything.
Right. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
How did you track me down?
Track you down? I don't even know who you are.
Don't play the innocent with me. It won't work. If it wasn't for my expedition, you wouldn't be here. You're one of those wretched newspaper men.
Paper men? I wish I knew what you were talking about.
Oh, yes. You laughed at me in the press, didn't you? Travers, the mad anthropologist. After that, even my own society wouldn't finance me. But I know they're here. 20 years I've been searching.
20 years?
I've staked my reputation and every penny I own on this expedition. And now, when I'm close to fighting them, you want to steal my glory just for the sake of a cheap headline.
Finding them? Finding what?
Don't pretend. They're here, somewhere on these mountains.
What are?
You know. The Yeti. The abominable snowmen.